Okay, so Sunset's technology program, as it stands, is pretty well developed. I mean, we have Mr. Galbraith, who's put together several classes in various subjects in technology, including some courses that allow you to get dual credit through PSU. And what has really helped me with these courses, what has really helped me at Sunset is the fact that we have such an experienced teacher teaching us college-level programming. And this is immensely useful because if you ever plan on studying anything technology-related, you're going to have to take computer science classes in college. So you can either get credit for those classes now, and you can learn them at an earlier stage and become better at them, or you can just pick up some critical thinking skills and learn how to manage your time better by taking these types of classes. So yeah, I think that's the fact that these classes exist is what's helped me the most, and that we have such a strong program. So I guess in my case, it didn't really have much of an impact on my future plans. I knew that I wanted to do something related to computer science or technology from the very get-go. Both of my parents studied engineering in college, and they kind of indoctrinated me. But it did teach me a little bit more about what that means and what it is like to be a computer science student, or kind of what it is like to be part of the industry even, because after taking these classes, I got a chance to intern at Intel, and so they kind of opened the door for me to learn some more things and kind of prepare myself for what I already planned to do. So it didn't really impact the course I was going to take, but it kind of helped me learn some skills. Okay, so I mean, everything is being powered by computers nowadays. Like using your phone to send people messages, everything involves computer science. And I think like all paper type things will become, all like written publications will all become digitized eventually. All spoken language, I mean, everything is going to be done through computers at some point. And like if you've ever read Ray Kurzweil's book, The Singularity, about the singularity, there's a point in time where technology, because it scales so exponentially, the way we interact and the way we behave as humans will just fundamentally change. So when everything else is going to become obsolete, I mean, learning computer science seems like a safe course of action because it'll help you get a job. It'll help you learn to deal with those things as they come up, because we're preparing ourselves for jobs that don't even exist yet. One thing about them is that they're self-paced a lot of the time. So Mr. Galbraith will give you a task and he'll say, okay, you have 2 weeks to complete this task. So you have to learn how to work by yourself, and that really parallels what you would do in a college environment or in the industry, because there's no one watching your back all the time, no one to tell you, oh, finish this sub-routine, finish this, get this done by this date, otherwise you won't be able to finish. So through a lot of trial and error, you learn how to pace yourself. And I think that's the most important kind of thing that you learn in an environment like this, that I'm proud of. Okay, so our final project in CS 163 was red-black trees, which is a really complicated thing. I actually remember, because I was working on it and I told my dad, I'm working on red-black trees, and it's like, wow, that was like my second year in college in a computer science course before we even talked about that, because there's so many different criteria for the red-black tree, and to have to program them all in a period of time, as a high school student is like quite an accomplishment. And we managed to finish it on the very last day of school, and Mr. Galbraith accepted it, so we were just really happy with that. And so that's one of my favorite things that I did, and one of the things I'm most proud of. So I talked earlier about pacing yourself, and I think that's really key. But, just by being in front of a computer and by familiarizing yourself with those tools, I mean, you learn how to kind of think in a different way, and in a really logical way. To think of something and then to write it in code, that process, being able to kind of translate what's in your mind onto like a program or something like that, really takes a lot of critical thinking. So thinking in a very logical kind of like pattern or step-based way is something that is a skill that you gain in these classes.